Hello again. Can you hear me, guys? Yes, very good. My dear students, my dear trainees. So, can you see the picture?
Teacher, I have a question. How many stations
Yeah.
are left? How many stations?
We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sessions. Except this one, we have 5 sessions. We have 5 topics.
So 3 more days or 2 more days?
It depends on your teaching practice. Yeah? You should practice teaching, reading, listening, speaking. You should practice them. احتمالا یه هفته از مهر یا 2 هفته از مهر بگذره تمام بشه. مونده دیگه. ما الان یک شنبه بریم، پنجشنبه هفته بعدم بریم. حالا ببینیم دیگه. نهایتا یه هفته از مهر نهایتش. خب what do you see in the picture? Come on. What is it doing?
A boy who is sleeping.
Who's sleeping?
In his dream.
Who's sleeping? What else? What do you see? What does those show us? What does those? What does it mean? These Z show what? These she. These Z's.
It shows that we have a good sleeping.
May I say?
Yeah, he has a good sleep. Yeah, say what is it?
It's called snoring.
Yeah, exactly. He's snoring. He's snoring. What about you? Do you snore when you're sleeping? Do you
No,
snore?
but my grandma does.
Your grandma. So, can you say that when we have a good night's sleep? When we have a good night's sleep? It depends on what? Can you say? Imagine I want to go to bed. Should I do something before sleeping to have a good night's sleep or no?
We should brush our teeth.
Brush our teeth. You mean that it is important for our sleeping?
Yes, because our mouth will smell good.
Yeah. What else? What about?
Drink water.
What about? No. This is a spoon.
Dinner.
Eat dinner.
Yeah, what about eating dinner?
Eat dinner 3 hours before sleep.
3 hours sleep.
Yes. 3 hours.
What about porkhori? What does porkhori mean?
Overeat? I don't know.
Yeah, overeating. Does it affect a good night's sleep, overeating?
Yes, we won't have a good sleep when we overeat.
Yeah, very.
Our dreams more imaginary.
Yeah. When you overeat, what do you see? What do you see? When you overeat, you see what when you sleep? What do we say it? In Farsi you say kabus.
Nightmare.
Yeah, exactly, nightmare. When you overeat, maybe you see nightmare when you sleep. Very good. So I want you to match these words with their definitions. We have an exam, bedtime, a listener, low, a tip, the hardest, busy, and loud. We have 2 minutes to do it. I want to put you in the breakout rooms in 2 groups. So what should we do here? You should do what? You should do what?
Match.
Come on! Match. Very good. Altana Hanwe Nazanin in one group, Aida Mahdis and Negan in another group. Go and start. So thank you guys. Can you share with me your answers? Number one. Write your answers in the chat box.
Number one.
Number one.
An exam, a test to show what a person knows or can do. B. Number two, bedtime, the time you go to bed. C. Number three, a listener, a person who listens. F. Loud. Number four, quiet. E. Number five, a tip, useful information or advice. Number six, the hardest, the most difficult. D. And number seven, yes, H, doing something, and 8, G.
Yeah. So what was number three? A listener.
3 was
the person who listened. Yeah, and 4.
4 is E, quiet.
E.
And
5 is A.
5 is A, yes.
A. Very good. So, I want you to listen an audio file, and while listening, cross or circle true or false. Which one is true and which one is false? Yeah. Before listening, I want you to read these questions for yourself. 1 minute. Read them for yourself. Are you reading? Are reading the questions? Sentences? Yes. Yeah. نه هنوز پلی نکردم. گفتم این 6 تا جمله رو بخونید. این 6 تا رو بخونید.
It's done.
Yeah. Are you ready to listen? So, what will we do? What should you do in this task? We should do what?
And listen to the audio and circle through the start.
Yeah. What is it about? What is it about?
It's about sleeping.
Yeah, it is about sleeping.
At exam time, it is important to sleep well. Today, we have Dr. Baker with us in the studio, and he is going to give us 5 top tips for getting a good night's sleep. Welcome to the show, Dr. Baker.
Thank you. It's great to be here. Let's start with tip 1. Don't go to bed with the television on. Some people think they can sleep well with the TV on, but the noise and the lights mean you don't really sleep well. So turn it off. Tip 2. Don't think too much before bedtime. Do your hardest homework earlier in the evening. Do easier homework later. If your brain is too busy and full of ideas, it takes longer to get to sleep. Tip 3. Don't play video games for an hour before you go to sleep. They also make your brain too busy and active. Tip 4. Turn off your cell phone when you go to bed. What is so important that it can't wait until the morning? If possible, leave your phone in another room. Tip 5. Play music if you like, but don't play it too loud. Turn the sound down low.
Thank you, Doctor. That is very useful advice for our young listeners.
So, I want to put you in the breakout room to compare your answers. Have you answered all of them? Yes or no? Yes. So, in the breakout room, you should compare your answers. Thank you, guys. When I say number one?
Number 1 is false. He was a doctor.
What? Number one is false. Can you justify your answer? Can you justify your answer?
You mean give
Say that
reason?
false. Why it is false?
Yes, because he was a kind of psychologist, I think.
He was a doctor, yeah?
He was a doctor, yes.
Exactly. Number two, you can say number two. Number two. No one? Guys, can you hear me?
Number 2 is false.
Yeah, it is false. Can you again justify your answer?
I think because he said that some people think that when the television on they can sleep well, but it's completely false.
Yeah. It is a false belief, yeah? It is a wrong belief. Number three.
Number 3 is true.
It is true?
It's bad to think a lot before going to bed. It's true.
Yeah, exactly. Can you justify your answer?
He said that do easier activities before sleeping and harder activities at the morning.
Yeah. Number four?
Number 4, false.
Yeah, it is false. Again, can you justify your answer?
I don't remember.
You don't remember. You can remember number four? آنیه مهدیس نازنین.
I think it's bad because I don't remember exactly what he said, but as long as I know, because of the screen and the light and the waves of the phone, it's bad for eyes. And
Yeah, number five again, Hanya.
number 5 is it is good to turn off your phone while you sleep. Yes, true. It's good.
And the last one?
And he said, put your phone in another room. And last one, it is bad to play loud music while you sleep. Yes, true.
It is true. Thank you. So, for the next activity again, I want you to complete these sentences where the words are in the box. Earlier in the evening, welcome, turn off, useful advice, great to be here, and downtown. Again, listen and fill in the blanks with the given words. Ready? همه دارن میرن. از 8 نفر شدیم 3 نفر. جا خالی ها رو با لغت‌های داده شده پر کنیم. فایل چی؟
استاد میشه این وایس ها رو تو گروه بفرستید چون که من کنسلیت میشم و شما صدا رو میذارید من نمیشنوم.
حالا میفرستم.
نمیشه همزمان هم گوش کرد هم سوالا رو دید، چون باید تپ کنی رو لیسنینگ تپ میکنی پی دی اف کلا فایل چیز کلا میره.
چرا گوشی های شما انقدر مزخرفه؟ گوشی من داره صدا نشون میده اونم نشون میده. چه گوشی هایی دارید شما؟ اندازی سلاشخالی برید شیائومی بگیرید. فقط بگید کدوم سلاشخالی میندازید گوشیاتونو.
اصلا ناراحت شدم استاد.
چیه گوشید؟
خورد تو سر اپل
سامسونگ رو با شیائومی مقایسه نکنید.
چرا؟ خیلی خوبه شیائومی. نه سامسونگ هم بده. نه بد نیست یعنی. من سامسونگ داشتم، A6 داشتم، A6 پلاس داشتم، بعد A6S داشتم. ای دادم رفتم الان شیائومی گرفتم. بخاطر گرافیکش قویه.
At exam time, it is important to sleep well. Today, we have Dr. Baker with us in the studio, and he is going to give us 5 top tips for getting a good night's sleep. Welcome to the show, Dr. Baker.
Thank you. It's great to be here. Let's start with tip 1. Don't go to bed with the television on. Some people think they can sleep well with the TV on, but the noise and the lights mean you don't really sleep well. So turn it off. Tip 2. Don't think too much before bedtime. Do your hardest homework earlier in the evening. Do easier homework later. If your brain is too busy and full of ideas, it takes longer to get to sleep. Tip 3. Don't play video games for an hour before you go to sleep. They also make your brain too busy and active. Tip 4. Turn off your cell phone when you go to bed. What is so important that it can't wait until the morning? If possible, leave your phone in another room. Tip 5. Play music if you like, but don't play it too loud. Turn the sound down low.
Thank you, Doctor. That is very useful advice for our young listeners.
Again, I want to put you in the breakout room to compare your answers. Thank you. The first one, to the show, Dr. Baker.
Welcome.
Yes, welcome.
Welcome.
2, thank you, It's
Great to be here.
exactly. Do your hardest homework.
Earlier in the evening.
Yeah. The next one.
Turn off your mobile.
Yeah. Play music if you like, but turn the sound
Down low.
down low. And the last one,
Useful advice.
useful advice. Thank you. So, I wanted to show you ideas. چون حالا 5 نفر بیشتر نیستیم دیگه گروپ ورک نمیکنه. اگه مثلا 2 تا گروه 3 نفره 4 نفره بودیم خوب بود، اما هی بچه‌ها میرن یه نفر میبینی تو گروه یه نفر مونده. I wanted to show you ideas about, do you sleep well? What is your experience about sleeping? Somehow I sleep well without any nightmare. I enjoy it. But somehow I see a lot of nightmare while I sleep. And how many hours do you sleep a night? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. How many hours? Yeah, I want you to share your experience about these 2 questions. Who's ready to start?
Sir.
Yes, Sonia.
Teacher.
First Sonia. اونی که اول دست بلند شد.
Okay, so I sleep well, but when I don't dream, it feels like I haven't slept at all. So if I have a nice dream, I have a good sleep.
Yeah.
And I don't usually sleep soon. I sleep late, and if I sleep late, I can wake up better in the morning. And how many hours? At least 8 or sometimes 10 hours I sleep.
Yeah. What do you say a person who sleeps late?
Night owl.
Yeah, night owl.
Yes.
Night owl.
And the morning person or a morning
Yeah,
bird?
morning. Yeah, morning bird. Morning bird. So, what about others? Mahdis.
I usually dream at night a lot, but how many hours do you sleep a night? And usually I think 7 hours. And like as Anya said, I'm agree with her that she said if I sleep late, I will wake up soon.
Thank you. Oh, it's enough. It's enough. Thank you. What you had is about teaching listening, and it was a practical listening that you saw. And the aims are to understand listening sub-skills, to know some classroom activities for listening, and to plan a listening lesson in 3 steps. اینجا رو میگذاریم ولش کن بیایم اینجا. خب in teaching listening and in teaching all types of language skills, we have some sub-skills. Yeah, each skill has some sub-skills. We should practice those sub-skills with the learners in order to say that, yeah, I'm teaching listening, I'm teaching reading, I'm teaching speaking. Teaching speaking, teaching listening, teaching reading, teaching writing, they are not something that we teach. Can you say that I'm teaching listening? Is it possible to you to teach someone how to listen, to speak, to read, to write. Yeah? When you say that I'm teaching listening, it means that you're practicing the sub-skills of listening to enable a person to listen more effectively, or a person to read effectively, or a person to speak effectively. Yeah? Got it? Inshallah. Amma, what are different sub-skills of listening? Let me share with you these sub-skills. These are the sub-skills of listening. You have 2 minutes. I think 2 minutes, 3 minutes is enough. Read and match. Here we have the sub-skills in the first column and the definitions in the second columns. Read and match with their definitions. You have 3 minutes. Have you done?
It's a little complicated.
Yes or no? Complicated. Because it is the first time that you meet it. So, the first one is listening for specific information. Somehow we'll listen to audio file, to video, yeah, but when we watch a video again, we'll listen to the audio file of that video, yeah. We just listen for finding a specific information, yeah, finding a specific information. For example, نشستید دارید تلویزیون نگاه میکنید، میاد گزارش هواشناسی شروع میشه. Broadcasting weather, yes? You're looking to hear some information about just Tehran because you live in Tehran and it is important for you to know that how is the weather in Tehran tomorrow. This is listening for specific information. For example, when you're listening to this weather broadcasting, your mother asks you, دخترم آب و هوای مثلا همدان چطور بود? You say that I didn't remember, and your mother says that چرا مگه گوش نمی‌کردی? You said that again, چرا؟ اما حواسم فقط این بود که تهران هواش چجوریه. This is listening for specific information. So somehow we listen to something to just find specific information. And as Ida said, it is D. When we listen to a text only to find a particular piece or pieces of information. And the rest of the audio file is not important for us. And when someone else asks us about it, we cannot remember, we cannot say the answer. It is so very important for us as teachers to practice these subtle skills with the learners. But which activity can aid us? We will talk about it. Get it? Get it? No. Yes. Yes. Number 2. Listening for gist. What does gist mean? You can say. Gist means main idea. Main idea. Somehow we listen to an audio file to find out the whole idea, the main idea of that audio file. For example, again, in this example, when you're listening to weather broadcasting, your mother asks you, what are you watching on TV? What are you watching on TV? Say that, yeah, I'm watching weather broadcasting. You have gotten the main idea, yeah? You say that, yeah, the whole idea is about weather broadcasting. Or you're listening to radio and there's someone on the radio that is saying or telling a story, and again your mother will ask you about what is you listening to. Say that, yeah, I'm listening to the story. There's someone in the story that's telling the story. Yeah, this is the gist, the main idea. But you do not look for specific information, or maybe again you look for. They are not something separate. Maybe you look for specific information as listening, as well as listening for gist. Maybe you're focusing on something else and you just listen to it unconsciously. Yeah, unconsciously. It is letter G. Exactly, Aida. It is letter G. When we listen to try and get a general idea what the text is about. Next one, listening for detail. Listening for detail. When you listen to something, yeah, and you try to get the maximum meaning of every word, everything in detail, it is listening for detail. Listening for detail. It is B. Exactly. Intensive listening. Intensive listening is what do we do in the classroom? What do we do in the classroom to practice the listening with the students? And extensive listening is on the other side, means listening to the audio file over a period of time. So extensive listening is A, and intensive listening, let me find it. اینو اشتباه گفتیم. listening for details میشه E. listen for details میشه E. intensive listening میشه B. اشتباه گفتیم. یه تفاوت اینجا وجود داره، اونم اینه که تو intensive listening خب شما به دنبال فهم لغات، ساختارهای گرامری، پرونانسیشن و اینجور چیزا هستیم. یعنی تمرکز آموزشیه. intensive listening تمرکز آموزشیه. اما listening for detail تمرکز برای چیه؟ برای آموزش نیست، برای فهم خود اون فایل صوتی هستش. اوکی؟ اینا تفاوتشه. And the two last ones are top-down processing and bottom-up processing. When you listen to an audio file, two processing occur in our mind. One of the processing is top-down processing. Top-down processing is when you are familiar with the audio file. You are familiar with the theme, with the topic of the file. You have background knowledge about it. Yeah? We call it top-down processing. In order to understand it, you use your background knowledge to understand it. On the other side, in bottom-up processing, you don't have adequate enough information about that audio file, that topic. Yeah? You need to put different parts of information beside each other to make your knowledge in your mind. We call it bottom-up processing. خب اینجا بخوایم تعریفش رو بگیم، میگه listeners process what they hear in relation to their background knowledge. This is top-down processing. بعد این یکی میگه که listeners try to make sense of، اینم که گفتیم، نه این مونده دیگه. آره listeners try to make sense of a stream of sound by trying to understand words or grammatical structure they are familiar with it. اینا هم کنار هم میذاره که اون نکته رو بشناسه. خب no question. پس specific information دنبال اطلاعات خاص. gist ایده اصلی، اون موضوع اصلی. detail به دنبال این هستش که تک تک لغت ها رو بفهمه، معنای کامل جملات رو بفهمه. مثلا کسی که توی سفارت امور خارجه میخواد مترجمی کنه، خب میخواد مترجم باشه، ترجمه سیاسی میخواد انجام بده، باید listening for detail داشته باشه، چون دونه دونه کلمات مثلا توی یه قرارداد میخوان بنویسن، دونه دونه اون کلمات اهمیت داره. intensive listening هستش که برای تمرینه، برای یادگیریه، فوکسش رو گرامر داره، رو وردها داره، رو پرونانسیشن داره، اینا رو داره. extensive listeningی که خارج از کلاس برای long period of time انجام میشه. top down processing زمانی هستش که شما از background knowledge استفاده میکنی برای فهمش، و bottom up processing زمانی هستش که موضوع رو دقیق نمیدونی و از تیکه تیکه های اطلاعات استفاده میکنی که بفهمی اون موضوع در مورد چی بوده. خب اینم از این. خب اما the next part is classroom activities. حالا ما فهمیدیم اینا مواردی هستش که خب بچه ها لازم دارن بایستی یاد بگیرن، اما چجوری؟ گفتیم باید تمرین کنیم. این که من بگم listening for gist اینه اونام یاد بگیرن که نمیشه، یا listening for detail اینه اونام یاد بگیرن نمیشه، که با گفتن نمیشه، باید تمرین کنن. مثلا میگیم این کار انجام بده معلم، چیکار کنه؟ a teacher sets up an after school film club. از بچه‌ها بخواد بعد از کلاس نیم ساعت یک ساعت در روز فیلم ببینن، یه سامری 4-5 خطی رو نیسن بیارن. این برای تمرین چیه؟ extensive listening. یا این تمرین learners listen to a short story in class. یه short story میذاریم و ازشون میخوایم یه سامری بنویسن. این برای تمرین چیه؟ سامری از اون تو کلاس. کدوم یکی از اون موارد رو داره تقویت میکنه؟ بگید. listening for
information.
خلاصه یه چیزی یعنی چی؟ یعنی مین آیدیا اون دیگه. میشه listening for. میشنوی صدامو؟ listening for gist. listening for gist. مین آیدیاشو بنویسه دیگه. سامری یعنی مین آیدیاش. The teacher plays a recording of a person arguing about the bill in a cafe.
Detail.
داره در مورد قیمت جر و بحث میکنه.
Listening for detail.
Ask the student to write down all the prices for her. میگه تمام قیمتایی که میشنوید رو بنویسید.
ای بابا.
No. No. Listening for specific information. فقط دنبال قیمتان. فقط دنبال قیمتان. A teacher reads a short poem aloud and asks learners to discuss what each line means.
Listening for details.
میشه چیه؟ خب دقیق متوجه بشن معانی شعر رو. Listening for detail. The teacher asks learners to listen to a short dialogue and on the printout of the tape script میشه اون متن اودیو فایل. بچه ها گوش میکنن متن اون اودیو فایل هم عیناً دارن. بعد ازشون خواسته چیکار کنید؟ Underline the words that are stressed. لغت استرس دار رو زیرشون خط بکشیم. میشه چی؟ بگید. Intensive listening. The teacher plays a recording of four housemates short of همخونه discussing money and asks learners to identify the name of the people in the house. دارن بحث میکنن در مورد پول خونهشون اینا. میگه اسم افراد بنویس. No. داشتیم این همینو. We have a specific information. اطلاعات ریز جزئی خاص. شما الان مثال زدم دیگه. به گزارش آب و هوا گوش میکنید. تو گزارش آب و هوا یه دونه جنرال ایدیا مین ایدیا دارید که چیه؟ گزارش آب و هوا. الان تلویزیون داره چیز نشون میده دیگه. خب حالا فکر کنید تصویرشو نمیبینید، فقط دارید میشنوید، چون داریم میگیم لیسنینگ. حالا این نگیم داریم میبینیم، داریم میشنویم. از شما پرسن که این برنامه تو تلویزیون داره پخش میشه چیه؟ میگه گزارش آب و هوا رو داره میده. پس it is about weather broadcasting. It is listening for gist. یه وقت هستش که از شما پرسن آب و هوا تهران چجور بود؟ فردا چند درجه است؟ میگه 35 درجه. 35 درجه چیه؟ specific informationی که you have heard. درست شد؟ این از specific و gist. یه وقت از اینتنسیو کیه؟ فقط تو کلاسه. اینتنسیو فقط تو کلاسه. از بچه ها میخواید میگه بچه ها گوش کنید، زیر نمیدونم مینیمال پرها خط بکشین. گوش کنین زیر کلماتی که با فلان صدا هستش خط بکشین. گوش کنین کلمات استرس‌دار رو مشخص کنید. گوش کنید کلماتی که پرونانسیشنش اینجوری خط بکشین و تمریناتی از این دست. گوش کنید این نکته گرامری چند بار تکرار شد، این فعل چند بار تکرار شد. اینا میشه intensive listening. هدفش فوکس کردن روی پرونانسیشن و ورد و گرامر رو ایناست برای یادگیری. دیتیل چیه؟ دیتیل یعنی فهم حداکثری معانی لغات و جمله. مثل کسی که داره ترجمه میکنه برای یه دونه قرارداد حقوقی. وقتی من میخوام ترجمه کنم بایستی همه چیز اون رو بفهمم، بدونم، understand کنم تا بتونم دقیق به فارسی ترجمهش کنم. پس I need to listen چی؟ for detail. دقیق گوش کنم، دونه دونه کلماتش مهمه. میشه از این. اوکی؟ نه اوکی. کمی اوکی. اوکی. خب look at 7. میگه the teacher plays a recording of a short story and asks learners to think of a suitable name for it. بچه ها فکر میکنید عنوان برای این داستان چی باشه؟
Gist.
Listening for gist.
عنوان خوب برای این داستان چی باشه؟ بچه ها چیکار کنن؟ listening for چی؟ مین آیدیاشو باید بفهمن تا براش بتونن تاپیک انتخاب کنن. میشه چی؟ listening for gist. The teacher plays learner a dialogue from a supermarket and asks them to complete a gift fill with past simple forms. بچه‌ها گوش کنید، فعلای گذشته وایس بنویسید، جای خالی فعلای گذشته پر کنید. فوکسش رو گرامر و اینا. چیه این؟ این intensive listening. دوتا آخری میگه listening carefully to football result. خب شما میدونید مسابقه فوتبال دیگه، چیز خاصی نداره که. پس listening for gist نیست. دارید برای چی پس فوتبال نگاه میکنید؟ یک specific information. دو چه نوع پروسسی تو ذهنتون هست؟ یا من میدونم دیگه فوتبال، تو فوتبال گل میزنن، نمیدونم دریبل داره، ولی چی داره، کورنر داره، شوت آزاد داره، اینو داره، اونو داره، اینا رو داره. میشه چی؟ top down processing. و آخری چیه؟ bottom up processing. وقتی شما دیکته میگید دونه دونه وایس کلمه رو بذاره کنار تا اون هول رو بسازه، اون هول ساخته بشه. بهش میگیم bottom up processing. نه از این. خب پس چند تا اسکیل شد؟ 7 تا. listening for specific information, listening for gist, listening for detail, intensive listening, extensive listening, top down processing و bottom up processing. These are the sub skills of listening that we should practice with the learners using appropriate activities. حالا do we have more activities؟ بله، میبینید تو کتابا پر اکتیویتی لیسنینگ دیگه. تو اینترنت سرچ کنید، تو کتابا سرچ کنید، کتابایی که تو گوگل درایو براتون گذاشتیم اینا همشون همینه. اکتیویتی های مختلف میتونیم استفاده کنیم برای تقویت هر کدوم از این یک مهارت ها. حالا شما می آیلتس امتحان بدی، آیلتس میخوای امتحان بدی، همین مهارت ها رو از شما میسنجن. یعنی یه سری سوال ها به شما دادن که listening for specific information رو داره میسنجه، میخواد ببینه این مهارت رو داری یا نه. listening for detail رو میسنجه، listening for gist رو میسنجه. اینها رو در شما میسنجه. خب اینم از اونو بیایم اینجا. حالا میخوایم تدریس کنیم listening رو. Do you remember that the teaching listening that I had at the beginning of this
First,
you remember what was it about? Raise hands کنم. It was about sleeping. Yes. Do you remember the steps that I followed?
to show us a picture about sleeping and ask us to talk about
یه نفر raise hands کنم.
in this picture and
آره
then
اینتر
show
بفهم.
some definitions of some words that we should match them, and then we listen to the audio that doctor speak about sleeping, and then you discuss with us about our
Very good. This is the first part. Then teaching new words while listening and post listening. So we had 4 steps or 3 steps generally. Yeah? 3 steps generally. خب let me بیام اینجا. For a listening lesson, we follow 3 steps. We do some activities before listening, some tasks before listening, we call it pre-listening tasks, some tasks while listening, while the learners listen to the audio file, and some tasks after listening. Yeah, we call them post-listening tasks. How many tasks should be done in 1 step? It depends on you, on the course book, and on the learners. And on the time that we have in a classroom. Yeah? 1, 2, 3 activities for pre, 1, 2, 3 for while, and 1, 2, 3 at most for post is enough. But what does what the sub-skills that we reviewed in the previous part should be mentioned, should be practiced in this procedure, in this circle. یا اون ساب اسکیلز ها رو باید ما تو اینا تمرین کنیم. خب کی میتونیم اونها رو تمرین کنیم؟ all of them are important while listening.
Yes. May I say what is it?
While listening. For pre-listening, we can do brainstorming. One of the activities is brainstorming. You know what is brainstorming? Do you know brainstorming?
Yes. Yeah. What I did, it was brainstorming. It was a type of
brainstorming. I asked you to come up with an idea about sleeping, and you said something. It can be in different ways. Yeah, about just words, about just sentence, about a topic. You can say sentences, you can say words. Yeah, it can be in different ways. But before listening, we can brainstorm about the topic of the listening. The next one, showing pictures, flashcards, and talking about them. Showing movies, discussion, reading. Yeah, maybe you ask the students to read 2, 3, or some sentences before listening. Searching the internet, you can ask them to Google on the internet about the topic before the listening. Matching words with the pictures and pre-teaching unknown vocabulary. If there is or there are some new words, at most 8 words, as I told you earlier in teaching vocabulary, we should pre-teach them. And if you want to teach words, if you want to teach new words, you need to have more activity, more than one activity. For example, pre-teaching vocabulary as well as, for example, discussion, or teaching vocabulary as well as brainstorming. So here we need to have at least 2 activities. And while listening, معلمان میگن که بچه‌ها گوش کنید. گوش کنید to do what? While listening, the learners again need to do activities. Just listening is not enough, because listening without attention is not effective. Without doing activities is not effective. While listening, we say that, listen to find out the gist of meaning. Write a very short summary in 2 sentences, 3 sentences about the topic. Yeah? So we should practice listening for gist, listening for specific information, listening for detail while listening. فقط we do not ask learners, listen to the audio file. Listen to the audio file and do what? We should define for them. You can write displayed questions on the board and ask them, listen and answer these questions. Referential questions or displayed questions need listening for specific information sub skills. displayed question یا referential question چیان؟ question هایی هستن که جوابش تو اودیو فایل هست، نیاز به تفکر و نمیدونم تجزیه و تحلیل و اینا نیستش، میشنوید میگه اسم این طرف چی بود مینویسی، اهل کجا بود مینویسی. بهش میگیم displayed question یا referential question. هدفش چیه؟ listening for specific information رو داره تقویت میکنه. The next one, guessing the meaning of new words. بعضی وقتا گفتیم که تو teaching vocab گفتیم که بعضی وقتا ما که کانتکست داریم لغت غیر مهم رو درس نمیدیم. چیکار میکنیم؟ میخوایم از بچه‌ها خودشون حدس بزنن. این کاری که اینجا میتونیم انجام بدیم. checking the prediction. از بچه‌ها میخوایم پردیکت کنن و چک کنیم پردیکشنشون. این هم برای وایل. برای پست چیکار میتونیم بکنیم؟ دوباره میتونیم ازشون referential question بپرسیم. inferential question هم اینجا میتونیم بپرسیم، یعنی نیاز به تجزیه و تحلیل داشته باشه. چرا اینجوری شد؟ چرا اونجوری شد؟ personalizing، کاری که ما انجام دادیم. بچه‌ها چجوری خوابتون؟ چند ساعت میخوابید؟ چیکار میکنید؟ کی میخوابید؟ اینا. یا retelling the conversation، یا خلاصه ای از اون listening رو بگن. سینونیم انتونیم لغت ها بگیم. matching words with definition داشته باشیم. اینا کارهاییه که میتونیم برای post listening انجام بدهیم. اما some things, some activities we should do them and some we should not do them. Look at these 10 items. The first one میگه که اولی رو انجام بدیم یا ندیم. بخونید. اولی رو انجام بدیم یا ندیم. Do listen یا don't listen. بله میگه do
listen. میگه گوش کنید به اودیو فایل قبل کلاس. anticipate problems. اینا رو توی lesson planning گفتیم دیگه. نرید سر
کلاس مثلا میگه اینجا چی گفت، اونجا چی بود، اینجا چی شد. بایستی قبلش گوش کنی، awareness خودت بالا بره. Number 2.
Don't stay. کجا وایسیم پس؟ یه جایی باشیم که جلوه توجه نکنیم، بچه حواسشون به هم نریزه. Number 3.
Don't miss.
Number 3 انجام میدیم. Take note. The questions are commonly wrong or missed out. Number 4. 4 هم انجام میدیم. 5.
انجام نمیدیم. miss out. آره miss out نمی کنیم. بعدی انجام میدیم. من از شما خواستم دیگه، گفتم چرا این
چرا اون. بهش میگیم جاستیفای کردن. میگیم که جاستیفای کنید جوابتون رو. justify your answers.
Don't go
بعدی
fast. Don't tell.
7.
چرا don't؟ خطاهاشون رو بررسی میکنیم.
چرا این خطا رخ داد؟ چرا اینجوری شد؟ نکات گرامری اگه داشت اینا برمیگرده
به همون intensive listening. 8.
هیچ نیازی به عجله نیست.
Don't tell learners go faster. Yes, اصلا نیازی. 9. جو تایپ اسکریپت گفتیم چی میشه؟ متن اون اودیو فایله.
تو کتاب ها اکثرا هست، یا تو تیچرز گایدشونه یا تو خود تیچرز استودنت بوکش ته کتابشونه. آخری
don't. بله، از بچه ها نمیخوایم جواب بدن مگر اینکه قبلا pair و group work
چی؟ انجام داده باشن. دیدید من هر جا که شما جواب دادید گفتم تو pair یا group برید compare کنید بعد come back to check your answer. اینا از این نکات که باشید همیشه نسب العین کنید برای
listening for Jews, listening for details, for specific information.
Listening sub skill, can you say some of them?